Hello, everybody, and I almost did it again. What are you doing?
Getting closer to the light.
We are very poorly lit because we're doing this one way at night,
Ooh.
like super late time.
It's a ghost story.
Stop it.
Ooh.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Why don't you put a sneeze in your wad of money?
I mean, this one? No, that's poor taste.
It's super.
All right,
taste.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Chris.
And we're the Nola Nerds, and this is our review for the super kid-friendly motherfucking Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph, indeed.
Get it?
You know.
See what I did there? Because I said it was kid-friendly, and then I dropped that MF bomb.
Yeah, I know. It was so fun.
So
funny.
I'm so edgy.
Wreck-It Ralph is the latest Disney
non-Pixar
animated film, and I gotta say it was very, very good.
If you had to sum it up in a single sentence, it's Toy Story for video games.
Kind of.
That's how I took it.
See, viewing the trailer, they showed all these cameos, and I figured it was going to be like Roger Rabbit in video games, but it was really just a Disney game, a Disney movie that took place in a video game, not so much Roger Rabbit style kind of thing, where it was in the world of video games and had a plot.
The Roger Rabbit style thing was more prevalent in the first half of the movie.
Yes, when they were at Game Central Station.
But then they started game hopping, and it starts going into the Disney-created, like, original games that are supposed to harken back to the heyday of 80s hoo-ha video game arcadiness.
Hoo-ha?
Yeah. Without the licensing fees.
Yeah, that's the best part.
But the cameos that were there, I kind of wish the trailer didn't spoil most of them.
Like 90% of them.
There were still some good ones, like in the root beer tapper bar. You know, I mean, but it is the little things like when Bison asks if he's going turbo. I'm like, I get it because it's a Street Fighter thing. Even though it ended up being integral to the plot, having a Street Fighter character ask if you're going turbo was a nice little nod.
Yeah. The real part of the story is that it's your typical Disney stuff where he finds a friend and realizes he's not such a bad guy after all.
And they learn from each other and realize that their flaws may not always be flaws.
But they're actually now best buds forever.
Totes, bro.
Totes.
But the path to that life lesson was shockingly good.
Yeah. I think the voice cast was very good. I think John C. Reilly as Ralph was a pretty inspired choice, I think.
I think the most impressive one for me was Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Who would have thought she'd pull it off?
She normally she's kind of annoying and a little grating, and the character was intended to be, so it didn't really bother me all that much.
Yeah, she was supposed to be a precocious preteen little girl who's super high on energy.
And is so Japanesey.
So How great were the candy puns? Like, so many candy puns.
Like Taffeta McMutton Fudge?
Someone was like, I mean, this is one part video game Toy Story, one part Candyland live act, like CG animated feature.
I made the comment halfway through that this movie had more candy jokes than video game jokes.
Yeah.
Especially the part where it was like, it's Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of movie is this?
But if it wouldn't have felt that much if all the video game jokes had been spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah, and that's one of its few flaws.
But I can understand why they did it that way, because they had to rope us in.
And they did. They did it pretty spectacularly.
And then we enjoyed it. But I mean, the entire second half of the movie is in the Candyland inspired video game Sugar Rush, which is Mario Kart meets Candyland.
Which Japanese.
I wanted to spend more time in the Jane Lynch voiced Gears of War style first person shooter light gun game. Which I think the coolest thing, and I'm glad they never showed this in the trailer, was showing us how in the game it translates the light guns, where it has the little TV on wheels following the characters.
The first person player. Yeah.
That was really cool.
You know what? And that was the one that felt the most like, everyone felt like they were like, actors in a play. And I think like there was a lot more stuff they could have mined out of the military game.
Well, you know what? Knowing Disney, this is not going to be the last Wreck-It Ralph movie. Hopefully. There's a lot more to pull from.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll get a direct-to-DVD.
No. No. This will be the only Wreck-It Ralph, and it will be fine as is.
Yes. The rest of the voice cast was great, especially the guy who plays Kevin from 30 Rock as Fix-It Felix.
I hate that guy.
Really?
I really do.
Why?
Because he's so
hometown good boy.
all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And like I was listening to him, and he's like, "Well, excuse me, ma'am. Fuck yourself, all right? God damn it."
But that's why the fact that he voiced that character made him so perfect to be that super gentlemanly, like, deep South.
You know, it's fine. Whatever. I hate that guy.
Okay.
I don't even like him on 30 Rock.
Oh, what about Jane Lynch as the woman with the most tragic backstory?
Programmed with the most tragic backstory. I laughed out loud very hard at that.
That was such a great line.
I kind of feel like that was a shot at Shepard.
Yeah. Just like, hey, leave her alone.
Jane Lynch.
She was programmed with the most tragic backstory in all of video games.
It's Jane Lynch being Jane Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really have to act too much.
She's very typecast now.
I think the one that surprised me the most because he voiced himself to the point where we didn't even recognize it.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, Wash himself, was King Candy / another character.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was doing this impression of like the Mad Hatter and the old Disney show.
It was like one part Mad Hatter, and I thought it was like one part Woody Allen.
A little bit. I think it was. I would give it like a 75-25 split for that. But Alan Tudyk, I didn't even recognize him until the credits.
Yeah, if the credits hadn't told me, I would have been like, I'd
have been like, oh, it's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the twist coming? The reveal? Because I didn't.
No.
I did not put 2 and 2 together.
No, and I also liked that there was like another subplot underneath it. Well, it was the main plot of like friendship, and there was also an apocalyptic like end game that was going through the whole thing.
Also, and I have to say this, is because this movie caught me off guard because it had those really emotional, like, sad scenes, and I was not expecting that, and so I was emotionally unprepared for the feels.
I didn't feel that.
Of course you didn't.
Nope. Heart's this small.
I would see our friends talk about how they cried and cried.
I was looking for that scene. I couldn't find it.
The enemy cried.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
It was the scene with the cart.
When he broke the cart?
Yes.
That's it?
How you are an awful person.
No, I thought
you're the person that breaks little girls' toys and crushes dreams.
I thought the enemy was made of sterner stuff.
Hey, again, we were unprepared for the feels. It welled up a bit.
It did not well up even a little bit.
That's because you're an awful person.
I'm a monster.
You know what? Doesn't matter. There's some tender moments in the film as well.
I will agree to that. I didn't even well up, but I can see how people of a less manlier persuasion would be inclined to squirt some tears after they braided their dolls and changed their panties and training bras.
Oh, whatever. Why don't you go cry at Kirk's death again?
It was a manly death.
Uh-huh. Or Spock's death, whatever.
Either. Manly.
They're not people.
That was Ralph!
Ralph was the most real person I've ever come to know.
That's depressing. It's good.
Visually incredible.
I like the fact that the people that were programmed in 8-bit kind of moved jerkily. So they looked like they were 8-bit sprites. Like they weren't programmed with fluid movement.
Yeah, like especially the little
the little
villagers.
People.
Yeah. Oh, there was. It's the little touches like that made the animation so great, and I can't wait to watch it again because there's so many like blink and you've missed it cameos and Easter eggs thrown in. Did you know on one of the subway graffitis or
Aerith Lives? Yeah, I saw that.
That was awesome.
That's
like,
cute.
You just don't.
I saw a Leroy Jenkins one too.
Yeah. It's there's so many little ones in there.
It's pretty great. My one issue, and this movie did a lot right for gamers, but the whole plot where like if she's a glitch, no one will want to play her, and then the game will be ruined.
It's like everybody loves the glitch to win.
Yeah, and then typical Disney fashion, being a glitch is not the worst thing in the world. Yes, it is. That would be fucking cheap as shit.
Be like, I'm gonna play as Vanellope. Well, fuck you.
No, Vanellope is off limits for all the games.
Vanellope is like man, I'm blanking on his name. Meta Knight from Smash Bros. He's banned from tournaments because he's too good.
Yes.
What are we doing?
I'm pointing over here at Merlin. Merlin's on the TV. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just caught that. Yeah, but aside from that one thing where, like, no gamer in their right mind would be like, I'm going to play the glitch. Fuck you. You're an asshole.
Yeah, like, and they show it the scene in the end, the girl beating everyone with the glitch.
And everyone's having a great time.
Like, I would have been like, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're no longer friends.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
It's the
but then again,
of the blue shell.
Then again, if there's a fantasy world where people still go to arcades, I guess there's a fantasy world where people love glitches.
Yeah. Oh.
Womp womp.
I miss arcades.
I don't.
Really?
Not in my rental.
Oh. God. This is why you have no friends.
Small heart.
Did you ever go to Celebration Station during birthdays and play the arcades?
Once.
What? Did you have no friends?
Very few.
Oh.
I played the Star Trek Elite Force game by
myself. There was The Simpsons, there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, and there was X-Men, and you went and played the Star Trek game.
Yes.
You're a monster.
Whatever.
Anyway, Wreck-It Ralph. 2 thumbs
up.
Doing this. Get it?
Jerking motion.
8-bit.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so official ratings.
9.
A 9. Day one purchase.
Yes. Hands down. Full disclaimer, we got sneak preview passes, and we saw it in 3D, so we should mention that...
you saw it in 3D. I saw it in 2D.
Right! You couldn't go with me. Okay, wow, totally forgot. The 3D was actually really good. I guess that should be said, but again, that shouldn't be surprising because one of the only people you can count on having high-quality 3D without it being slapped on is Disney, especially for their animated films, especially for CG animated films. And it did not disappoint. I think it almost makes it's like faint praise when you say it's so good you don't even notice it.
Yeah,
because then it's like, what's the point? But I think that's so much better than the ones that are just like, oh, 3D, and then it happens.
Our video's going to be in 3D soon.
And then it just happens 5 times in the movie. Yeah. This is just, it's so organic, it just gives it a more depth to it.
And as soon as more movies do that, I think 3D will pick up more. I saw this in 2D. It's still a good-looking film, regardless.
So anyway, I give it a 9, day one. What about you?
I give it an 8.5. It's a day one purchase for me also.
Yeah! On that Blu-ray.
I'm going to get it on DVD.
No, you're not.
I'm going to get it on VHS.
And this episode is brought to you by Batman on the NES. The video game. There we go. What is that? I forgot to be sponsored this week. We're not really sponsored by it. It's hard to be sponsored by something that's 25
here's the misnomer. You can't be sponsored if they don't pay us to do anything.
Yeah.
We're just really just shouting out.
Yeah.
So sponsors is kind of a misnomer.
Sponsor is more of a wink and a nod thing, like, hey.
Hey, we're sponsored by Batman. Batman hasn't been around. Batman's dead to you.
Oh, Batman's the father figure you never had.
Heart this big. All right, let's wrap this up. This has
nothing to do with anything.
We're done. Wreck-It Ralph's good. Go see it.
Wreck-It Ralph's fantastic. It's
still
good for kids. It's good for adults. It's enjoyable for gamers. It's enjoyable for aficionados of Candyland. Let's go see it.
Yes.
Good times. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And we are the Nola Nerds, and this has been Wreck-It Ralph.
What? Are you not impressed?
What? They what?
They what?